제가 뭘 도와드릴까요? How can I help you? How can I help you? 그걸 어디서 들으셨나요? Where did you hear that? Where did you hear that? 저희는 그걸 좀 더 확인해야 해요. We need to double check that. We need to double check that. 그게 정말 사실인가요? Is that really true? Is that really true? 아직 확실하지 않아요. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure yet. 그 문제를 누구한테 물어보면 되나요? Who should I ask about that? Who should I ask about that? 정말로 고마워요. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. 그거 나중에 할 수 있을까요? Can we do that later? Can we do that later? 시간이 좀 더 필요해요. I need a little more time. I need a little more time. 이건 정말 중요해요. This is really important. This is really important. 무슨 말인지 이해가 돼요. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. 거기에 어떻게 도착했어요? How did you get there? How did you get there? 저는 그게 잘 기억이 안 나요. I don't really remember that. I don't really remember that. 그건 너무 어렵지 않나요? Isn't that too difficult? Isn't that too difficult? 왜 그렇게 생각하나요? Why do you think so? Why do you think so? 저희는 그것에 대해 다시 논의해야 해요. We need to discuss that again. We need to discuss that again. 언제까지가 마감인가요? What's the deadline? What's the deadline? 그 계획을 자세히 설명해 주세요. Please, explain the plan in detail. Please, explain the plan in detail. 그게 무슨 의미인지 잘 모르겠어요. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure what that means. 이거 먼저 해야 할 것 같아요. I think we should do this first. I think we should do this first. 그렇게 생각하지 않아요? Don't you think so? Don't you think so? 저도 같은 생각이에요. I think the same. I think the same. 그건 꼭 필요하지 않아요. That's not absolutely necessary. That's not absolutely necessary. 그 문제를 심각하게 생각하고 있어요. I'm taking that issue seriously. I'm taking that issue seriously. 왜 이렇게 됐는지 설명해 주실 수 있나요? Can you explain why this happened? Can you explain why this happened? 그게 무슨 상관이 있나요? What does that have to do with it? What does that have to do with it? 다음 단계는 뭔가요? What's the next step? What's the next step? 그 문제를 어떻게 처리하셨나요? How did you deal with that issue? How did you deal with that issue? 그게 정말 필요한가요? Is that really necessary? Is that really necessary? 저희가 그걸 개선할 수 있을까요? Can we improve that? Can we improve that? 그건 간단하지 않을 거예요. That won't be easy. That won't be easy. 저도 같은 문제를 겪었어요. I had the same problem. I had the same problem. 뭐가 문제인지 알고 싶어요. I want to know what the problem is. I want to know what the problem is. 그거 나중에 얘기하죠. Let's talk about that later. Let's talk about that later. 오늘 해야 할 일이 많아요. I have a lot to do today. I have a lot to do today. 이 문제를 바로 해결할 수 있을까요? Can we solve this problem right away? Can we solve this problem right away? 그거 정말 필요 없어요. That's really unnecessary. That's really unnecessary. 이걸 끝내야 하는데 시간이 부족해요. I need to finish this, but I don't have enough time. I need to finish this, but I don't have enough time. 이 문제를 처리해야 해요. We need to deal with this issue. We need to deal with this issue. 그거에 대해 좀 더 생각해 볼게요. I'll think about it a bit more. I'll think about it a bit more. 언제 그거에 대해 다시 이야기할 수 있나요? When can we talk about that again? When can we talk about that again? 조금만 더 기다려 주실래요? Could you wait just a bit longer? Could you wait just a bit longer? 오늘 안으로 답을 줄 수 있을까요? Can you give me an answer by the end of today? Can you give me an answer by the end of today? 저도 그 문제에 관심이 있어요. I'm also interested in that issue. I'm also interested in that issue. 어떤 부분이 제일 힘드셨나요? Which part was the hardest for you? Which part was the hardest for you? 이 부분에 대해 더 배우고 싶어요. I'd like to learn more about this. I'd like to learn more about this. 뭐가 잘못됐는지 알아볼게요. I'll find out what went wrong. I'll find out what went wrong. 그게 사실일 리가 없어요. That can't be true. That can't be true. 가능하다면 그걸 먼저 하고 싶어요. If possible, I'd like to do that first. If possible, I'd like to do that first. 저는 그거에 대해 다르게 생각해요. I think differently about that. I think differently about that. 그걸 처리하는 게 최우선이에요. Handling that is the top priority. Handling that is the top priority. 내일까지 이걸 끝내야 해요. We need to finish this by tomorrow. We need to finish this by tomorrow. 그 계획은 어떻게 되었나요? What happened to that plan? What happened to that plan? 이 부분을 명확히 하고 싶어요. I want to clarify this part. I want to clarify this part. 그거 정말 확실한가요? Are you really sure about that? Are you really sure about that? 그건 불가능할 것 같아요. I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's possible. 어떻게 해야 할지 잘 모르겠어요. I'm not sure what to do. I'm not sure what to do. 이걸 최우선으로 해주세요. Please make this the top priority. Please make this the top priority. 그게 필요하지 않은 것 같아요. I don't think that's necessary. I don't think that's necessary. 오늘은 많이 바빠요. I'm really busy today. I'm really busy today. 그거 언제 끝날 거예요? When will that be finished? When will that be finished? 그거는 나중에 할 수 있어요. We can do that later. We can do that later. 어떤 방식이 가장 좋을까요? What's the best way to do it? What's the best way to do it? 지금 바로 할 수 있을까요? Can we do it right now? Can we do it right now? 그게 정확한 정보인가요? Is that accurate information? Is that accurate information? 이게 얼마나 오래 걸릴까요? How long will this take? How long will this take? 같이 일해서 정말 좋았어요. It was great working with you. It was great working with you. 그거에 대해 좀 더 말해줄 수 있나요? Can you tell me more about that? Can you tell me more about that? 계획이 변경되었어요. The plan has changed. The plan has changed. 언제까지 그걸 해야 하나요? When do we need to do that by? When do we need to do that by? 그거에 대해 더 조사해 보세요. Please look into that further. Please look into that further. 무슨 이유에서 그랬는지 설명해 주세요. Explain why you did that. Explain why you did that. 그 결과에 대해 어떻게 생각하세요? What do you think about the result? What do you think about the result? 생각보다 더 복잡하네요. It's more complicated than I thought. It's more complicated than I thought. 해결 방법을 찾았어요. I've found a solution. I've found a solution. 저희가 해야 할 일이 많아요. We have a lot to do. We have a lot to do. 그걸 놓치면 안 돼요. We can't miss that. We can't miss that. 그거에 대해 얘기할 시간이 있었으면 좋겠어요. I wish we had time to talk about that. I wish we had time to talk about that. 이번 주에 다시 확인해 볼게요. I'll check back on that this week. I'll check back on that this week. 그건 정말 큰일이네요. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. 그렇게 하는 게 최선일까요? Is that the best way to do it? Is that the best way to do it? 이 부분이 더 중요한 것 같아요. I think this part is more important. I think this part is more important. 그걸 자세히 설명해 주실래요? Could you explain that in detail? Could you explain that in detail? 모든 게 순조롭게 진행되고 있나요? Is everything going smoothly? Is everything going smoothly? 그게 가장 좋은 방법일 거예요. That's probably the best way. That's probably the best way. 이걸 어디서 구할 수 있죠? Where can I get this? Where can I get this? 그 문제를 어떻게 해결할 계획이신가요? How do you plan to solve that problem? How do you plan to solve that problem? 언제쯤 완료될 것 같아요? When do you think it will be completed? When do you think it will be completed? 이건 아주 중요한 결정이에요. This is a very important decision. This is a very important decision. 그걸로 충분할까요? Will that be enough? Will that be enough? 문제가 생기면 어떻게 해야 할까요? What should we do if something goes wrong? What should we do if something goes wrong? 왜 그렇게 결정하셨나요? Why did you decide that? Why did you decide that? 이 부분에 대해 다시 논의해야 할 것 같아요. I think we need to discuss this part again. I think we need to discuss this part again. 여기서 조금만 더 기다리면 돼요. We just need to wait a little longer here. We just need to wait a little longer here. 그 문제가 생각보다 크네요. That issue is bigger than I thought. That issue is bigger than I thought. 그걸 어디서 구했어요? Where did you get that? Where did you get that? 더 자세히 알고 싶어요. I want to know more about that. I want to know more about that. 이걸 먼저 처리할 필요가 있어요. We need to handle this first. We need to handle this first. 지금 그걸 해도 괜찮을까요? Is it okay to do that now? Is it okay to do that now?